For more insight into the death of Pope Francis, let's bring in John Lavenburg, national correspondent for The Tablet. He'll be in Rome for the funeral. Hi, John.
Hi, Christine.
John, tell us about the next steps. The Catholic Church is about to begin a mourning period for Francis, right?
That's right. So once Pope Francis died and it was officially announced by the Vatican, a 9-day mourning period began. And that's a tradition that comes from ancient Roman tradition. A few other small things that will take place now. The Vatican will fly its flags at half staff, and the bronze doors to St. Peter's Basilica will be closed.
What can we expect to say? When can we expect to say that final farewell to Francis? When will he be buried?
So what will happen is in the coming days, Pope Francis' body will be transferred over to St. Peter's Basilica, where we'll rest in state for several days. That allows the faithful, dignitaries from nations around the world, as well as Catholic officials, to pay their final respects to Pope Francis. From there, the funeral will take place.
Right. Now, there's a unique tradition when it comes to the coffins of popes. I was reading about it, but I'm not totally clear. Can you explain to our audience what happens?
Yeah, so traditionally, when a pope dies, the body is placed in 3 coffins, one made of cypress, lead, and oak. However, last year, Pope Francis, and this is in line with a lot of things he did through his pontificate, he simplified those rites. So now the Pope's body will be buried in a simple wooden coffin with a zinc coffin placed inside of it. Again, this was an effort by him to really simplify those norms and really be humble, as he has throughout his pontificate in a number of ways.
People all over the world have already started praying for Pope Francis. The Bishop of Brooklyn, Robert Brennan, celebrated a mass in memory on April 21st. Here's some of what he had to say.
Thank God for the gift of Pope Francis and commend him to the loving care of the Lord and that eternal glory.
John, you attended that mass. How else did Bishop Brennan console the people in the pews?
Well, I think, one thing that has to be noted is having a mass in itself is one way Bishop Brennan, giving the faithful so early on that opportunity to mourn and pray for Pope Francis was a great gesture, and a hugely important one by Bishop Brennan. But I think when he spoke at the mass, the word he kept going back to was hope. He emphasized that this is the Jubilee of hope. He emphasized how often Pope Francis spoke of hope, and he really emphasized that Catholics now should continue to pray for Pope Francis, but do so with that hope that he so often inspired us to live our lives with.
And John, you'll be leaving for Rome sometime this week. Tell us what happens at the Vatican after the funeral. Things are about to get very busy, right?
Very busy. So as it's happening right now, cardinals around the world are getting their travel plans ready. The ones that aren't in the Vatican will travel there. And so what happens is the Vatican enters a transition period called sede vacante. And that translates to the seat is vacant. And so the College of Cardinals will run the Vatican, run the church for a period of time until they select a date for the conclave. Once the date for the conclave is determined, the cardinals will enter into the conclave, and then soon after, we will find out who the next pope will be.
All right, John Lavenburg, national correspondent for The Tablet. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christine Persichetti, anchor of Currents News. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button on this video. And if you want to see more content just like it, subscribe and click on the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, because we are putting your faith in the news.